New Bedford is truly one of a kind. The history in these cobblestone streets, the rich culture of the people, the multitude of small businesses run by passionate individuals, and the amazing creative community that we have here all come together to create this essence that is uniquely New Bedford. Professionally, I'm a cinematographer, a producer, director, editor, but when people ask me what it is that I do, I simply say I am a storyteller. Stories are one of the most ancient art forms that we have as human beings. Stories create connections. Stories bring us together. Stories show us that we have much more in common than we have differences. So when you ask me what my why is, it's that. Stories are one of the most beautiful, magical gifts that we have to give each other. And what is a story if it's not shared?
There's something about New Bedford that doesn't happen everywhere else. There's this charm about it. You have to see it for yourself.
The people here know that it could all be lost just like that. They've experienced loss of industry before. They've been the richest place in the world. How many places can say that? And yet I think they still are.
One thing about being in this city, you're allowed to be who you are. These days, it seems like so many people have to fight just to be who they are. You can live in this city and be who you are. And that's inspiring to me, that beacon of light that New Bedford is.
For me, New Bedford is home to anyone that comes here. Taking anything you can out of any other culture and bringing it back to New Bedford is what's most important, because what New Bedford is made of is different cultures.
The impression that I had when I started living in New Bedford was very friendly in some way, because I come from Santiago. It's a capital, very crowd capital, a lot of people. But here is more quiet and you can feel more comfortable with the connection with the city.
New Bedford es un museo al aire libre, y yo al vivir acá, al recorrer los adoquines, uno se transporta a esa época. Ver los adoquines, eso es una historia muy apasionante de conocer, de vivir. Esta ciudad no es la típica ciudad de Estados Unidos, de esas ciudades que las casas del mismo tipo, no, es un poco anárquica, diferente, los colores. Eso me gusta mucho de este puerto.
Cape Verdean American culture started in New Bedford and then kind of spread across the country.
Everywhere I go, I feel Cape Verde in this city. But I also feel Portugal, and I feel Guatemala, and I feel Puerto Rico, and I feel the Caribbean, and I feel everything in this city. I don't think you can get that kind of sense anywhere else.
Cape Verdeans have this thing called morabeza. It's this love that you feel. It's this hug you get from the whole community.
You don't have to be Cape Verdean to have morabeza. I think New Bedford itself is that. It is morabeza.
I just feel like this is such a little gem. There's so many artists that live in this small city. I like to consider New Bedford as the Paris of New England. Paris at the time of the Impressionists was bubbling and you know, it was energetic. And that's how I feel about New Bedford, you know, on an aha night when you're seeing people going from gallery to store to restaurant to outdoor activities. It's so alive. AHA is a once-a-month arts and culture celebration. Decided to change their June theme to Pride. They reached out and asked me if I wanted to be involved and did I have any ideas? And I said, absolutely, let's have a block party.
I have seen leaps and bounds in the way that galleries have grown, creative organizations have grown, even the museum has grown. That's pretty incredible for me, and that was a major draw for me to want to stay here in New Bedford after graduating. This is where I decided to make home.
Arts and culture can play into a role of restoring a community by, again, creating opportunities for people to come together and learn about one another.
Colaborar no solo desde la cultura como para entretenerse, sino desde la cultura para producir cambio. La cultura genera cambio. Eso es fundamental.
Our historical society is different because we focus on the history of people of color. We were looking for ways to make Black history visual, and the way to do that is with the arts. We do murals that focus on African American history, Cape Verdean history, so people get to see how you can use art to really instill historic pride in people. And it's an honor to do that kind of work.
And that's been the case for artists throughout history. We've always used art as a means to express what's happening, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, and using it as a tool for social justice. I don't think you can live in a city and not impact how you see the world and how you create. And also this lens of social justice, this activism that's very vibrant in our city.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice!
Being a member of this community, I feel like it's a community that embraces one another. When something's happening, people come together and they create change. And that's beautiful. That doesn't happen in every city.
New Bedford continues to echo its own history, right? You have people that were stationed in New Bedford that made a lot of noise. Lewis Temple, who revolutionized whaling with the Temple Toggle harpoon, right? And Frederick Douglass being one of the first Black men with a newspaper. New Bedford is continuously filled with a lot of people that are like that are revolutionaries and leaders in their frontier and in their passions.
For me as an artist, a lot of my work and a lot of my projects kind of derive from this idea that I'm out to just move the needle a little bit of people's perceptions of this area. I just want to show a different story. I just want to show the world that their perceptions of places are wrong.
The things that happen here, things that are available here, we don't seem to have experiences like that too many other places. Regardless of your medium, the community is very supportive, and that's something that drives you to want to create more.
I have a gallery and makerspace called Interwoven, and Interwoven merges my two loves, food and fabric. How I developed these classes really comes from challenging days I had as a single parent. So I created a program called Snap to the Max, and I teach people how to use their SNAP benefits, how to cook with locally sourced healthy foods from local farms. It's about sharing my story in these classes to reach people that are going through the same things that I've gone through.
I start learning handmade felt and how create with a fiber, very thin and soft fabric. And this pieces is a little square of handmade felt. There are other pieces of fabric in bag that support this square and represent fragments. Some fragment of your personality, fragment of the people separate, but at the same time connected. Like a New Bedford. All we are separate. There are different culture, there are different people, but in the end of the day, we are all connected.
We work here, freelance journalists, and work with Noticias New Bedford. It's a section of the New Bedford Light for the Latino community. I make videos and note about the reality of the people from Guatemala, from Honduras, from Salvador. For me, it's very important, the voice of these people. I am the voice for the without voice. ¿Y qué pasa contigo en ese momento cuando abres esa compuerta de la imaginación?
Pues se siente algo maravilloso, uno puede expresar sus sentimientos y tomar las cosas y ver el horizonte de otra manera.
Y de New Bedford, ¿qué podrías tú contarnos que te gustaría expresar en alguna obra, en algún trabajo?
Definitivamente los paisajes. Es maravilloso, una parte del mundo muy maravilloso, y los paisajes que tiene acá, sus playas, pasos donde puede caminar y buscar y la inspiración para luego poder plasmarlo en algún trabajo.
Yeah, art doesn't end in the institutions. You know, it goes straight out in the streets. And that's the great thing about New Bedford, because I feel that a lot of the organizations, a lot of the artists focus on bringing art out into the communities.
I was invited to be a creative ambassador for this project. One of the first things that I thought about was kind of combine the idea of postcards and an invitation to the community to share their feedback of what they love about New Bedford. So many people, when I was working on this project, were coming up and telling me all these stories, what it meant to them to grow up here or what they love about it here. It's a community of a group of strong people.
So the ultimate goal for me is that people have an agency to speak about what they want in their community, for them to kind of get implemented. If people are saying they want more art and they love the art that's here, how can we boost that up? What I really would like to see happen in New Bedford, for me personally, is to do more public art here. I think that is the true identity of what New Bedford is, that people can see when they come here, because they're surrounded by beautifulness and good positive energy and positive things that radiates off the wall into people's personalities.
So the project I'm working on now I call Secret City Wills, doing live painting at events, filling these images with words about New Bedford. And I'm connecting with the public, asking people, what do you love about New Bedford? And I'm putting their answers directly into the paintings.
I absolutely love what's happening in the art community. It's the reason why I moved, because I was like, look at what's going on here. Look at all these murals going up, and look at this, look at that. And I was like, this is just like awesome. And like at the end of the day, I want to be able to bring my kids into this world where we can celebrate art. I would say that the art brings people here. It brings a new culture. It brings a new experience. It brings new personalities, and those bring new opportunities, and it just enriches everything around us. Art has that amazing ability to just transform people and communities. I think New Bedford sees that.
The arts is always something that will add value, whether it's monetary, whether it's experiential, whether it's emotional. You feel more enriched. You hear the arts in so many different ways. And that's the beauty of art, that it creates spaces for us to really connect and expand at the same time. It's invaluable.
This is a village that invites other people into their cultures and their traditions. There's fears of gentrification and displacement, and yet they still welcome so many people. There is a momentum here that will create change. There's change coming, and some of it may be difficult, but I have no doubt that the people are up for the battle. This secret city has so much up its sleeve, so much that connects it, and so much light that reflects the best of literally the world, and it has for years.
I think New Bedford as a city liberates people. I got to see a lot of people that weren't brought up here. You know, they were transplants from other communities. They would say, you know, once I got here, the sense of family and community is so different and so unique than what we experienced anyplace else. And so that's what made us stay. And whenever I hear that, I literally get like this jolt inside of me. Like, yes, because I've always known what New Bedford was about. And to see the greater population now experiencing New Bedford and just all its greatness. You know, we weren't just the city that lit the world, we're the city that's still lighting the world. I am so blessed to be a part of it because I took myself out of it for a while. And those were dark days. Now I'm back in the light, and it's beautiful.